Good evening. It's Wednesday, and Week 8 is just right around the corner with the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers tomorrow night. Today, we're going to talk about some top performers from Week 7, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on kind of what to expect for the Falcons and Panthers game tomorrow. So, are you ready to get your fix? Well, let's start with the San Francisco 49ers, who had a guy go off that most people don't know, and that guy was Jeff Wilson Jr., who torched the New England Patriots defense, having 17 carries for 112 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just an absolute great outing against a defense that is supposed to be pretty solid, but weren't so solid this Sunday. I don't think we're going to see this type of performance from Wilson again, but they might have found a solid backup other than Jerick McKinnon. So we'll see how Jeff Wilson ends up going down the road here. So moving over to the Detroit Lions, who somehow pulled off a victory over the Falcons on a last-second drive to win 23-22. Well, my top performer for the Lions is Matthew Stafford, who didn't go crazy, but he still had a really solid outing against the Falcons, going 25 for 36, 340 yards, and a touchdown. Now, this was Stafford's most passing yards in a game this season. Overall, this was a pretty solid game for the Lions, who somehow pulled out a win. Now, for the Falcons, my top performer is Todd Gurley, who had 23 rushes, 63 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, I do think he had way too many rushes for only 63 yards, but the Lions do have a solid defensive line, so it does make sense. I just feel like he could have done better, but those 2 touchdowns made him my top performer, where one of those touchdowns lost him the game, and now that defensive line for the Lions is going to be a little bit better now. They just traded for Everson Griffin from the Cowboys, so we'll see how the Lions go down the road. So moving over to the Cleveland Browns, who my top performer is Baker Mayfield, who had a terrible first half, but came out firing on all cylinders and threw 4 touchdowns in that second half. Now, Baker was incredible, okay, and he went 22 for 28 with 297 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and an interception. Now, you can't get much better than that. I think in the second half he had 4 touchdowns. I said that earlier. So he's hit and miss, okay? But when you get him hot, he's a good quarterback. If not, then he's not so good. So for the Bengals, I got Joe Burrow, who is looking like a veteran quarterback, like I've noted the last couple weeks. And I thought he would be just fine in the NFL, but I didn't think he would perform like he is now. Joe went 35 for 47 with 406 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. I believe him and Patrick Mahomes are the only quarterbacks to be rookies and throw for 400 yards. So that's pretty impressive. So moving over to the Tennessee Titans, in which my top performer is Ryan Tannehill, who almost stayed undefeated but couldn't quite get the job done, losing to the Steelers 27-24. Now, Tannehill went 18 for 30 with 220 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Not too bad for Tannehill. So moving over to the Carolina Panthers, who almost beat the Saints. Again, there's a lot of close games this week, but they couldn't pull it off. My top performer for the Panthers is DJ Moore, okay, who only had 4 receptions for 93 yards, and he also had 2 touchdowns. So it can't get much better than that. DJ Moore looking to be that top guy in Carolina, which he is with Christian McCaffrey out. So DJ Moore is looking just fine. Now going to the Buffalo Bills, who had Cole Beasley go off against the Jets. Only on 11 receptions, Beasley had 112 receiving yards. So he didn't have a great day by any means, but he had a solid day. 112 yards, that moves you down the field at least once. So solid outing by Beasley there. So next, we got the Washington football team, who they dismantled the Dallas Cowboys and exposed them to the point where the Cowboys are almost kind of a lost cause at this point. They have a 3rd-string quarterback coming in to save the day. Now, my top performer for Washington is Antonio Gibson, who played amazing, rushing 20 times for 128 yards and a touchdown in the 25-3 win. So finally, we go to the Jacksonville Jaguars, in which their top performer is the rookie running back James Robinson, who is looking more and more like a veteran running back and looks like he's been in the league for about 3 to 5 years now. Now, Robinson, he rushed 22 times for 119 yards and a touchdown in the loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. But this rookie just keeps performing, and he performs at a high enough level that, you know, he's probably one of the top guys on that Jacksonville Jaguars team right now. So for the Chargers, my top performer is Justin Herbert, who might just be my current pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I have him tied with Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. Both are just going crazy. Now, Herbert is crazy comfortable and slinging the ball with no worries in mind. He's just cool, calm, and collected, and that's all you can ever ask for in a rookie. And since he's doing it at such a high enough level at an early stage in his career, he's going to be around for a while. He's going to be like a Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, kind of one of those kind of type of players. Now, Herbert, he went 27 for 43, 347 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the win over the Jaguars. Well, enough on the top performers. Let's talk about what to expect in the upcoming matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Now, this is a division battle between the bottom 2 teams in the NFC South. Now, for the Panthers, if you win, you stand a chance to play for the second place spot over the Saints, especially if the Saints lose this week. Now, for the Falcons, you're playing for pride. So you have to win because just like me, okay, they know they're a better team than what they're showing. And now they just got to go out there and do it. They need to get Todd Gurley going early and kind of mix in Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley because you're obviously going to get those passing yards with having Matt Ryan back there and you have 2 top receivers in the NFL. But now you just got to get Todd Gurley going because you guys have had running back issues for the past 5 years now with Devonta Freeman kind of going downhill the last couple. So you got to get Todd Gurley going a little bit more than he was. I know I had him as my top performer this week, but 22 rushes, 63 yards. You got to do better than that. You got to at least have 100 there, or at least 80 to 100 to really get going. Another thing is that their defense needs to start playing together and force turnovers. Otherwise, they're going to be in for a long rest of the season. They just have to. They got to force some turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, whatever it may be, 3 and outs. They got to figure something out. Now, this is going to be a battle, okay, between 2 teams who are really similar, where they each have good running backs, but not great ones, being that McCaffrey is out with an injury. And they each have wide receivers who are really good and make defenders miss, and each have a subpar defense. So these teams are so evenly matched that it's either going to be a blowout by one of these teams or the game is going to go all the way to the final drive to see who the winner actually is and who wants to take that division over by storm. Now, I expect this game to be about 28-24, Carolina coming away with the victory. But like I said, it could end up being a blowout. The Falcons had a really nice outing against the Lions. They didn't come away with it. I think the Lions are a worse team than the Falcons are. But like I said, that defense has to start doing something, and they got to get Todd Gurley rolling a little bit better than he is. So right now I have Carolina winning that game, whether it's 28-24 or 35-3. I don't care. I just got Carolina winning that game. Well, that's going to end our discussion today as now we await the start of Week 8 tomorrow between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. We will be back on Friday to talk about what all occurred during this game and who my top performers are from each of those teams. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you Friday. And you just got your fix with the Wicks.